And I'm going to turn it on over to Aaron to get things started.
Great. How is everybody doing? As you go trickle in, Matt, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Aaron?
Good. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Aaron McKinnon. I'm the coordinator of the Best Buy Teen Tech Center at Phase 4 Learning Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So if you are a Steelers fan, as Brendan is, or a Pirates fan and all that good stuff, this is the city of steel. JT, how you doing over there? All right. So let me say why I wanted to even do this session to begin with. All right. I titled it Alumni Retention, Staff Retention, and creating an ecosystem with symbiosis, right? So there's a lot of big words, but essentially we've been having some alumni do some amazing things like this past summer with respect to organizing peaceful protests, having a voice in the community, and using the platform down here at the Tech Center to use their voice and come up with some cool podcasts. I got alumni that's running for the school board for the city of Pittsburgh, embracing food security. Some, the alumni spotlights have grown. Now, and as the pandemic hit, and it hit us all hard, we were doing check-ins, right? So we'd be calling every single day, reaching out, and I started getting phone numbers I haven't seen in a while pop back and hit me. They were old alumni checking in on me. And I was like, wow, I can't believe some of these relationships really lasted as long as they have. Now, I've been in the network for 15 going on 16 years. It's a long time, right? But the relationship that you form over years is like, it's amazing. So I always look out and I see a ton of new faces every single year at conference. So I definitely wanted to touch on some like staff retention. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay engaged? What makes you want to keep coming back? And as members age out, how do we keep them? Right? How do we keep them staying around? How do we bring them back? And you could fast forward to the creation of the Clubhouse alumni network, right? And how we want to create a strong alumni chapter here. I want to get involved. So I want this to be interactive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show a video that we did to capture some alumni conversations and their experiences down here. I'm going to talk to you all in a semi-presentation format, give you some stuff that we do here at the Teen Tech Center in the strength of our CBO with Phase 4 Learning Center. Then we have some breakout sessions, and then we'll do some share outs, and hopefully not take up too much of your time. So in the chat, I seen Jeff do this the other day, and I thought it was cool. I'm going to hit a link to a video on YouTube. So you all can turn your cameras off, watch the video. When you're done, you can turn the cameras back on and give a thumbs up, and we can get started. Sounds good? Great. Thanks. Give a couple more seconds so some people come back. Oh, I appreciate you guys. See it. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, you said the realest one when you were like, man, why do people ask why you still do the same thing after 16 years? Man, it never feels like the same.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
To say this about.
I'm trying to tell you.
Real talk.
All right, so I forgot to do my icebreaker, right? That's the first thing I meant to do. But it's cool because we can still do it and run it concurrently. I wanted you to put into the chat, thanks, Gabe, put into the chat how many years you've been in the network. And then who was a person or mentor in your life that changed your perspective or outlook on something? And it could be like a really brief reason why, right? It could be like, the mailman, because he told me to look both ways when you cross the street, or, something like that. Mine was my grandfather, and I'll explain why a little later. But just a quick, I just want to see how long people have been around. Oh, yeah, you was an OG too. I guess you was a member. Okay, Galen in here? Oh, I'm humbled off of that. 7, yup, 5. This is good. Good stuff, good stuff. Completely new, but looking at some mentors. Okay. These boys in good Canada, yeah. 2 years, you're making an impact. JT, yeah, okay. All right, cool. So there's a reason I had y'all do that, but we'll get into that. But I'm gonna show a presentation. I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, and we'll hop right into it. Tell me what you see. Y'all see something to say? Equity, I'm doing this right.
Yep, you get your presentation up.
Cool. All right, so this is alumni and staff retention, evolving your ecosystem. All right. So what is symbiosis? In biology, we talk about it being an interaction between two different organisms living in close physical association, typically to the advantage of both, right? Or a mutual beneficial relationship between two people or groups. Symbiosis. I talk about this all the time in the space, symbiotic relationships. Kids be looking at me like, what are you talking about? And I'll be like, it means mutually beneficial relationships, right? The Clubhouse is your community. We encourage you to work together so that you can have peer-to-peer mentoring, transparency, overall a good climate. You know, I always said we all have to live here. So pick up your garbage, right? Or wipe down your table, or now socially distance. We all have to be here, right? So symbiosis in the Clubhouse environment is one of those things that breeds the relationship with your future alumni, right? It's not a push or a pull. Everybody's given to it, right? And that's how you create your ecosystem, right? Now, what is the Clubhouse ecosystem? There's gonna be a couple old pictures that you see of me. Don't laugh. I had hair and all of that stuff. But so what is your Clubhouse ecosystem? It consists of your CBO, right? Members, because without the members, you have nothing. Mentors, all right? Those can be industry professionals, kids from college that come down, volunteers, or your Best Buy employees. You may have a relationship with the local mentoring agency who sends people out, you know, Highmark Days of Caring, things like that. Parents, which is important. 5-10 years ago, we had these things called the 5 mile an hour parents. They slow down just enough to kick the kid out and keep going, right? But nowadays, parents are really involved in what their child is doing. And so to have that relationship, to have that trust allows you to take a kid to Teen Summit, right? It allows you to take them to a college tour, to have them come down and do something extra. So that parental relationship is important. Staff in your Clubhouse ecosystem is like the heartbeat, right? Keep things managed. And then you have your alumni. And I was sitting in a session earlier and it just came to me. It was like, well, then you got your funders, right? But the funders aren't really part of the ecosystem. They just make it rain, right? But the growth comes from having these relationships that you have in this bubble, which is the ecosystem. And it all starts with your CBO. All right. Our CBO is Phase 4 Learning Center. The mission is to provide an exceptional educational for at-risk individuals that focus on their academic, social, behavioral, and future needs, enabling them to graduate from high school, prepare for a career pathway, and to establish partnerships with employers, higher education programs, the U.S. military, and community organizations to meet the needs of the region's employment sectors by preparing and connecting Phase 4 participants to appropriate career paths. All right. That's a whole lot to say. We focus on relationships and have the best interests of our participants at heart. All right. One flag, one vision. I say that all the time, right? There's different programs that our CBO Phase 4 has, but we all fly under the same flag. All right. And that means that you have to be aligned with your CBO and their strategic planning. How do you fit within that vision? Do you know, are you supported that you can in turn support your members so that they can become and stay and come back as alumni? All that's important. It starts with that one flag, one vision, being aligned with your CBO. Like the kids say, big facts, all right? So one of Phase 4's primary beliefs is that the individual needs the opportunity to build relationships in order to become successful. Building relationships works. That's our bread and butter. That's how we do it. That's the focus on mentoring. Over the past 2 decades, we served 17,000 at-risk individuals across the state of Pennsylvania from various locations, from here to Philadelphia. Many of these individuals have come through the Clubhouse doors, have been members. Last year, during the pandemic, we graduated 255 high school students, which is amazing considering what was occurring at the time. And those kids still was reaching out to come down to the Clubhouse and see what was involved. We were still reaching out to them to keep them engaged virtually, all right? And you can see some of the numbers right here as far as how many the percentage going to the workforce, post-secondary education, and the military. But at the end of the day, you have to evolve your ecosystem in order to meet the needs of the members. And how do we do that? We have a commitment to innovative programming, right? So Phase 4 and the Tech Center are committed to doing something different to address the populations that we serve. And it starts from like top-down leadership, right? There's an emphasis on the organizational workforce development that trickles down into the programming that we do at the Teen Tech Center. So we have a strong C2C pathways program that our facilitator Josh is over there right now in another session concurrently talking about. Or else he'd be here right now cheering me on. Right, where he focuses on internships, entrepreneurship, work readiness, and we got this concept of fun to funds. That's taking what you like to do for fun and showing you how to make funds from it. That's using the Cricut machine to make T-shirts and masks and stickers on water bottles that you sell out there, or using the cameras to take pictures at weddings and things of that nature. So you have to have a commitment to innovative programming, right? And expanding your resources. There's a section that on our page, we say your future matters, because it does. What are we doing with these kids, these members, as they're aging out, as they're graduating high school? How are we preparing them for the future? What are we doing? So we expanded partnerships and programs. So we offer a smarter credentialing from Carnegie Mellon Robotics Academy, where they can get a micro credential in electrical foundations, software integration, robotics, digital fabrication, things that they can stack and put into their toolkit. We offer Google Support IT Professional Certificate, where they can get their certifications through Google, taking a Coursera course. We expanded partnerships, a program called GoRAM, giving opportunities for robotics and manufacturing, where they can take them same smarter credentials that they've gotten in microcerts, and then take them to go to a place called New Century Careers and become an apprentice and learn to become a machinist, giving them options. And some of those are for 18 and older. So as you tend to age out, these are all things that we do to increase alumni retention, to keep them staying and to bring them back. These are the things you got to think about. Ooh, that went all the way left. Hold on. Ooh, ooh. There we go. Equity. What does that mean? What does it mean to you? Over here, it means developing inclusive environments that support everyone. If it doesn't, change it. I never ever want a member to come in here and say that they feel uncomfortable or that they don't feel supported. That's not building alumni. That's not building membership. That's like the complete opposite. You got to respect the differences and build community, right? We serve a marginalized demographic that traditionally doesn't have access and opportunity to have the things that's down here. So you got to create a space and give them access, right? And just because you do that, that doesn't mean that it's a privilege when some of their peers don't already have it naturally. So you gotta look at it like it's right and that they deserve to be down here. And you gotta remove those barriers. And we do that by connecting them to resources. Phase 4 has become like a one-stop shop as far as the things that you need. And it's interesting. In the video you saw, Anthony was talking about how he was at Teen Summit and he's like, and they fed us and we were just eating, right? Yeah, it was cute, but he never ate like that before in his life. And what y'all don't realize, and I mean, he probably wouldn't care if I told him this now, he's like almost 30 years old. But at the time, him and his family wasn't having food in the house. This is a true story. So these are things that we talked about at that green table. And so he got to go on a trip and eat like a king for a week. And it stuck with him even to this day, the things that he remembers. These are the things that happen. These are things that happen right now. So what do? You take it to your CBO and let them support you. So what do? Our boss said, okay, we're gonna have a food pantry right now. So now if a kid goes hungry, if a kid is hungry, he's gonna eat. No one's gonna go hungry anymore. So now they can eat and work in their studio and not have to think about that part of their day. All right. I like this picture here of Carlos Thomas, who was featured as one of the alumni spotlight people, right? This was at an event that he had called Feed the Hood. He came to me one time and said, Mr. Aaron, I need $100. I'm trying to get these hot dog and hamburger buns. And so his mission in life is to feed the hood. That's his core element. It has grown to like food security and things of that nature. So I said, all right, let's do it. Gave him $100. We went and got the cheapest buns and that we can get. Got 2 grills, went out to one of the parks on the east side. Now, mind you, all this happens on the east side. Teen Tech Center is located on the east side. I live on the east side. These parks are on the east side. I'm in the community all the time. So you get some grills, get some food, get some sponsors, has a table out and just starts grilling hot dogs and hamburgers and feeding everybody, right? And people coming by picking up sandwiches and all of that. Now, what makes this picture so amazing to me is that that's Carlos, who's a Clubhouse alumni. The person he's giving the hamburger to is Curtis, who came right after Carlos. So when Carlos was graduating, Curtis came in as a freshman. So Carlos was a senior graduate now. So it's 4 years later, and Curtis comes out. And then somewhere in the back, there's me looking like a husky Ninja Turtle, but I'm there too, involved with everything, right? And it's nothing but a call to say, hey, Carlos having something, let's come out. And then Curtis says, okay, I'm there. And then Anthony comes out and, so our ecosystem grows with us wherever we go, excuse me. So better spaces that you have can change lives. You always want to have that equity. So why do they come back? Or why do they stay? This is like real, right? I mentioned I've been in the network 15 years, going on 16, before we were called the Three Rivers Computer Clubhouse. I'm going to honor that, putting that picture up there and show you that growth happens. We recently became a Teen Tech Center a couple of years ago, but it's still under the Clubhouse network, right? So we're always going to have that. So do they come back for the resources? Do they come back for workshops? Do they come back for the relationships? Why do they stay? These are things you got to work out. I like to think they come back for the mentorship and relationships that were built, because every kid that comes through the door, we spend some time with, one way or another. So, alumni retention. So in addition to expanding resources, you want to adjust them to different roles, right? That's easing them into maturity, into the real world, adjusting them to be mentors or volunteers. And you always want to continue the mentorship that it goes along. We used to call it keeping a real conversation. So anytime we would talk, it'd always be authentic. It'd always be transparent. It'd ask real advice, and I'd give it to them. And that's what we do. So when you focus on relationships, you're keeping it real. That goes a long way. If on your individual websites you have a section that can let them go to, on your individual websites that you have something that can help them foster some type of future, right? So ours is called Our Future Matters. And on there's links to the program that we mentioned. And like, so in addition to the digital skills, the Google certifications, the robotic certifications, there's a partnership that we have with Peloton University and Southampton University, where a member can get a competency-based education, accelerated associate's degree or bachelor's degree, right? If they're Pell Grant eligible, which is a majority of our students that come down here, right? So you always want to be helping them advance. And then there's the connecting them with the alumni network, which we have done because we want to create an alumni chapter. Now that is going to be something powerful locally, because we track our kids for like a year afterwards, at least, right? But in some instances, it's longer than that. I can't go to the grocery store, even in a mask, and somebody not say, "Hey, Mr. Aaron." I'm like, "Oh, what's going on? How you doing? Seeing you in a while," right? Even if I haven't talked to you in a year or two, we may still chop it up. I may give you the business card exchange numbers, let you know about some programming things that's coming on, or just say stop on down, right? So that's the alumni. Now, here's the real, the core, retention of staff. All right. So you have to look at why you show up to work. What's your passion? I'm talking about true grit, right? Like, we're in the trenches with direct services dealing with youth every single day. And it's even crazier now for some of us in this pandemic, as far as having to redefine how you do that. So what keeps you keep coming, right? Fostering deeper relationship with members, the evolution of your program, understanding stories and empathizing with them. The stories. We talk a lot. Even on a check-in, I still check in with members now and alumni. And the stories that still come up are just as crazy, but they're just as personal and just as deep. And we still get through it. At Phase 4, we try to make the time they're here the best part of their day, right? And that holds true for the Tech Center as well, right? Understand the impact that you're making. It lasts longer than you ever could imagine. And for me, the reason I come to work, and the reason I do what I do for as long as I've been doing it, comes from my grandfather. And I told you this story. Well, I said I was going to say what I was going to tell you. So my grandfather was a deacon at the church. So I got my first job, actually. He made me clean the bathrooms at the church. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like 10, 9, 10. He's like, clean them. And I'm like, really? But he said that if you humble yourself to clean the bathroom, you'll always have a job. That's number one. And I held on to that too, because I wanted to work at a gas station overnight. And one of the things I had to do was clean the bathroom. And if you ever seen the bathroom at a gas station overnight, you understand what I'm talking about. Humble yourself, right? And the two, he used to sing this song in the choir. And it was called, "May the Work I've Done Speak for Me." So when I come to work, I mean, regardless whatever is going on, when I'm gone and long, and it's all over, may the work that I have done speak for me. May the life I've lived speak for me. May the service that I've given speak for me. So, with turnover rate being what it is, what I want to do is break out into some breakout sessions. I want to get in some small groups. I don't know how many people is in the room right now, but we'll break up into some small groups, and I want us to talk about why we got involved in the position, and where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? Do you plan on being here for 3 to 5 years? I know coordinators who went from one clubhouse to the next cross country, right? And that's what's up. That means you're committed to this cause. I see you. That means you're committed to this cause. That's special, right? I want to take this time to refocus and refresh. Share some self-care tips and routines on how to stay mentally healthy. Now, these are things I wasn't doing like this past year. I was just going hard, making sure that everybody else. And you have to take time for yourself. So use this time to do that. and meet somebody new. Right? Colleagues create change. I say this all the time. Every year I go to an annual conference, it is such a refresh to me to talk to colleagues I haven't seen in a year, right? Get some new ideas. That's what keeps me going. Like, I pay attention to what people are doing, and it motivates me. It seriously does. I can call names out, but I follow what people are doing. That's why I think like the Clubhouse Connect are awesome, because I don't even got to follow people anymore. It just pops up what you're doing. And I just follow, look and say, yeah, that's going to work here. Or maybe it doesn't, or maybe you try it, but you have that you have the idea to do so. So meet somebody new, I challenge you, that you don't know. And yeah, chop it up. So I'm gonna end the screen right here. Take we'll take 15 minutes, and then we'll do a share out about who you met, what you learned. Maybe it will reinvigorate you to continue on another 5 years, or at least the next. All right, so let's break out.
All right, here we go.
Back, good. So who wants to share out? Somebody tell me something. Why are you here? What's making you stay? What do you love about your job?
So, Mr. Aaron, I'll go ahead and go. So what I was telling in my group, the reason why I'm here is because I love the youth, man. They're the reason why I'm still doing this. I've been, like I was telling everyone, I've been working with nonprofit organizations for about 7 years, and then it's 8 with the Boys and Girls Club. So being a year now. And just being part of the Clubhouse network has just been absolutely amazing, just because it kind of reminds me a little bit of Apple, just by how innovative and creative how everybody is within this network, which is great. But the youth, me growing up, hard work and work ethic was something that I've always thrived off of. But of course, just like with not getting the recognition for my hard work, I kind of, was really, really pushing myself as hard as I could, just to be recognized, of course, in sports and everything. But long story short about that, I want to be able to put a spotlight on all of our youth, right? So even, the quietest person could be the most special. You never know, just by those connections that you make, with these kids, how far it can go. And, just knowing the fact that you have alumni that's graduated from a program that are still returning and still wanting to do good is, you're instilling the knowledge that you learned over the years onto them, and they're taking what they learned from you, and they're using it to, inspire others. And then from there, you're pretty much breeding the next generation.
Oh, absolutely. Oh man, that was powerful. Those are stories I like to hear.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hey, Aaron, I'll just shout out here and say I could stay another 18 years because of you.
I appreciate that.
So it's awesome to work with you. And we have worked together for nearly 18 years, right?
Yeah. It's going on 16. And I'll share this little story. Like I came on board, and this is the guy's honest truth right here. I shook her hand and I said, I'll rock with you. The wheels fall off as long as you have it. And that's, I serve the president to the duty and discretion of the president and CEO when it comes to the work that we do. And we've had that relationship, and I swear by it. So like, you can have a positive relationship with your CBO that can help foster all kinds of growth within your centers. You absolutely can. I mean, it's so, and I didn't even talk about this, how you made the Teen Tech Center corporate headquarters, right? And that your office now is right over there, a literal stone throws away, right? The program executive office is right there. So I don't have to go looking for anybody if I need to talk to them about what's going on in the Teen Tech Center. It's home base.
Yeah.
Right. That's the kind of support and leadership that you need. So anybody else want to go? Got a couple minutes left.
Aaron, I think you said it best in your video about that, every day is different. You know, that's one of the reasons that's kept me around for like over 14 years. And another big reason is like these alum, you know, they come back full circle and start mentoring. And so, you know, I knew Celine when she was a Clubhouse member. I knew Brittany when she was a Clubhouse member. They're both on staff. We got other Clubhouse members that still come in and volunteer and mentor. And so, you know, selfishly, what keeps me coming back is I actually learn from them. Like they're my mentors. And at the same time, like, it's just cool to see that full circle of, you know, people helping their own community and giving back to their own community, and it all comes back around.
Yo, I'm about to say another interesting story. Brittany, I remember one of the last conferences you were showing me your artwork and drew me, and I took a picture of it, and it's up on the wall right now. That's one. Galen, I remember you back from 2010. Did we do that one workshop at Teen Summit with the big mural?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I fell in love with your work since then, and I've been following the thing that you guys do all the time. We're building an arcade right now. I remember that one conference that y'all brought the arcade out, and it's just like, this is what I'm talking about when I say staying connected to your colleagues and getting all kind of energy and creativity from it. Right? This is how you stick around. You have to go to the people that's in the network.
It's mutual, man. We get a lot of inspiration from you guys too.
Oh, that's humbling, because I definitely follow you guys. Fran, all y'all. Absolutely. You too, Nadine. I done jumped on some of the Brooklyn things. You already know. And JT, like, you're like my arch nemesis when it comes to this video work, because I swear Hope does some amazing stuff when it comes to the Reach Festival. I follow you guys. Absolutely amazing. Gabe, you already know. So yeah, so hopefully for the people who I have not met and have the fortune to build a relationship with, we can. In the chat box, I put the link to our alumni spotlight on our page. You can check out those videos in their entirety and see everything that they talked about. And yeah, that's all I got. I'm sorry I'm a little short. About 2 minutes.
Right on time. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks, everyone else. Just so you know, along these lines, there's our attempt at a virtual project fair is going to be taking place in 15 minutes. So we have some people who have volunteered to showcase their projects and or clubhouses. And it's completely experimental. We're going to give it a shot and see how it goes. So if you're interested, we'll be doing that in about 15 minutes. But as always, big thanks to Aaron and thanks to everyone else for joining us here.
All righty, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Beautiful.
All right.